Captain Marvel. Welcome to the channel, I'm Hayes. I'll talk movies all day, sometimes I'll talk about games, so subscribe right now if you want to be entertained. And today, I want to talk about Captain Marvel, the 2019 superhero film that got so much backlash before it was even released. So here I am, over a year later, talking about a movie no one cares about anymore. I mean, I think that's how you get the big views on YouTube. Right? Anyway, by now, everyone's had time to calm and reflect, so let's talk about why it got so much negative attention and if any of it was justified. So the film came out, I watched it at the cinema and thought it was pretty good. It had a decent story, some cool action, and it has my favourite Stan Lee cameo. When he's on the bus practicing the Morat script, that was just... Now I know some people complain that she was shoehorned into the MCU, which, I mean, yeah, let's be honest, she kinda was, but so what? If you could shoehorn in the character while making a good movie out of it, and have it so that her contribution to Avengers Endgame was relevant without detracting away from 11 years of story development, then shoehorn away. Matter of fact, forget the shoehorn, just stick a big old slip and slide in it and get every brother and their mother in there, which incidentally, might actually be happening. I think that it would have been a more legitimate complaint had they brought her in at the very last minute with no explanation, punches Thanos in the face,
and so once again, the day is saved, thanks to the
Captain Marvel girl. By the way, side note, Bubbles could whoop Captain Marvel any day. Like, that's not even an opinion, straight facts right now. There was another complaint that in the movie trailer Captain Marvel didn't smile enough. I wouldn't even want to entertain that opinion, but apparently enough people complained for it to be pretty big news. Like seriously though, I mean, first of all, how pathetic do you have to be to sit there counting how many times someone smiles in a trailer and then decide they didn't smile the appropriate number of times to be deemed acceptable? For real, what is missing in your life? Or what kind of movie do you think they're making? Some of you mans watch way too much porn, I swear down. So from my basic ass research, it seems that most of the backlash from before the release came from some comments that Brie Larson made. So I looked up comments Brie Larson made and I found this.
Did you know sort of how significant, I guess, Captain Marvel was as a Marvel milestone, and the fact that obviously it's the first female director, the first solo female-led superhero film.
First Marvel movie with a female lead? No, it wasn't. I mean, what, we're just gonna forget about Elektra now? I mean, to be honest, I think most people would rather forget about Elektra. It wasn't really that good, but still, give Jennifer her flowers. And she was married to Batman for 13 years, and you know that can't have been easy. What's for dinner? Thought we'd try a vegan meal today. Why you wanna kill me? And yeah, I know that was a different Batman, but Batfleck was kind of an arsehole, and none of his lines ever made it to meme status, so... Anyway, that wasn't what pissed people off. What did, however, piss people off was Brie Larson saying she wanted a more diverse group of people interviewing her, and she didn't care what some 40-year-old white dude thinks about A Wrinkle in Time because it wasn't made for them, it's made for young girls of color. Now I could understand why that would annoy people. Personally, I don't like the people of color term either. Man ain't no rainbow fam. Man ain't walking down the street like red and yellow and pink and blue, you get me? Anyway, I watched A Wrinkle in Time, and if that was really made for young girls of color, then I have some questions. But I won't get into that right now. You see, the idea that a film could be made to serve a specific group of people isn't really new. It's been happening for years. Matter of fact, most films are made to serve a particular group of people, and the ones that try to please everyone usually suck. So if you're a filmmaker, you probably won't care too much about what people outside of that group think of your movie. I mean, sure, they can have their opinions, but it's not like you're gonna be taking pointers on where they think you could improve. That's like Chicken Cottage taking advice from Gordon Ramsay. Like, are you dizzy, blood? But here's the thing. Brie Larson isn't in A Wrinkle of Time. She didn't write it, she didn't produce it, she didn't nothing it. So, I don't know, maybe let the black woman that directed the movie speak on whose opinion she cares about. Okay, Karen? Brie Larson was in Jay-Z's Family Feud video, which was also directed by Ava DuVernay and also features Mindy Kaling and Storm Reed. So, you know, maybe she just got confused as to which people of color project she was working on that day. Now, the other part of her comment about wanting a more diverse set of people interviewing her, I don't think this should have been a cause of anger towards her either. Most of the time, actors don't get to select who interviews them, they just get who they get. So if you finally get to a point in your career where magazines are willing to give you the high-class brothel treatment and let you choose who you want to spend a few hours alone in a room with, I get it. You want to try someone different. It's like, imagine if you go to the ice cream van and the man only ever gives you vanilla. Every time, no matter what, you always get vanilla. One day they got a new guy running the van and he actually asks you what you want. Are you really still gonna pick vanilla? And hey, nothing wrong with vanilla, but let's be honest, even vanilla be hitting different when you put that sweet fake chocolate fang in there, you feel me? Now, there were other comments about some people who just don't want to see women starring in movies, but as far as I can tell, that was mostly made up propaganda to guilt trip people into seeing the film. And, well, I guess it worked. That said, there are people like that in the world, but don't nobody care about what some incel on 4chan thinks? Alright, so now the film has been out for over a year. Was all the backlash, negativity, and hateful comments worth it? In short, no, not even a little bit. I mean, look, I can understand that if you happen to fall into the group of people whose opinions Brie Larson doesn't care about, that's not a very nice thing to hear. That sucks. But you know, there are a lot of other groups of people who have pretty much been told their opinions don't matter for years. So now you know how they feel. And I think that was kind of the point. If we can understand better what struggles other people are facing, then perhaps we can have more empathy towards them. And then we can work to be more inclusive so that everyone feels welcome, appreciated, and valued. Brie Larson tries to create space for people who don't normally get opportunities, and that should never be considered a bad thing. I mean, you'd have to be a special kind of arsehole to get mad that somebody got offered one interview when you've already been offered 100. It's like you've already got the steak, you can't let them have the salad, you gotta take that too? Come on now. And I know there's the people who always say things like, it should be about your merit and how good you are at the job. But you see, it is about merit. It is exactly that. I mean, what, you think they're just gonna hire some guy off the internet who compares everything to food? Of course not. Unfortunately. But what you gotta understand is that some of you guys are like the George W. Bush of this whole thing. Imagine having been given all these opportunities, all these chances, and yet still messing up so badly that even racist people pick the black guy. Well, anyway, maybe you need to get good. Or maybe you should just go create your own platform instead of always trying to get on someone else's. Gosh. But that's what I think of the Captain Marvel backlash. What do you think? Justified or bunch of lies? Let me know down below, and while you're there, be sure to like, subscribe, and drop a suggestion if you don't mind.